the 5. Prescott under center. Hand off Elliott. Big hole up the middle. For the 15. Made a man miss. To the 10 to the 5. Walk the down. Touchdown, Elliott. Oh, what a throw. And now breaking away is Cooper again. Amari Cooper to the 30. Amari Cooper on the sideline to the 15. Cooper to the pylon. Amari Cooper took it 90. 90 for Cooper.
How about them Cowboys? Good morning, football. We are live in New York City. It is Thursday, May 23rd. My name's Kay Adams, alongside Nate Burles and Peter Schrager, and a very good odd egg named Kyle Brandt.
That's right. Speaking of eggs, right? Isn't New York chance today?
Yes.
We've been doing it all week.
How are you guys? Did you guys have a conversation in the dressing room? Like, how aggressive?
We actually did.
And I have a secret weapon.
I was thinking about this. Is this going to be like, are you guys going to go soft on me? Are you gonna let me have it? Like, how's this gonna go?
All week we've been breaking eggs on each other's head for the crack cancer challenge.
I was
NFL
very nice
players
to you.
are doing it. I started. Nate did it. It's today's Kay's turn at the end of the show. Tune in. Kay, we got something for you.
You do?
Yeah,
I knew it was going to be a discussion. I cannot wait. That's to come. But we've got headlines right now with the Cowboys. Let's hit the lead block.
Lead block. Lead block.
Yesterday, day 2 of Cowboys OTAs. 3 of the team's superstars still awaiting contract extensions. Lots of things going on there. We've got Dak Prescott wanting a deal, Zeke Elliott, and Amari Cooper, of course. But who's closest to getting one done? Our very own Jane Slater has some answers.
Thanks, Kay. Well, the Cowboys have expressed an interest in extending Ezekiel Elliott's contract. The one that appears more imminent is that of starting quarterback Dak Prescott, poised to be the highest paid player in franchise Wednesday, and asked him where his team was at when it came to getting the deal done. Have you guys submitted a counter proposal yet to the Cowboys' initial offer?
Yes. You tell me. You seem to know everything, so you tell me. There you go.
How close were you guys initially?
I can't really say on that. It's one from each side. So, it's my first time doing this. Ask me in a few years, and I'll be able to tell you. Okay, we've sent this one, they've sent this one. We're about to get it done. But as right now, I'm learning the process too, and just letting my team handle their business.
You and Amari racing to the table?
I don't know what Amari's got going on. I just hope he catches the ball as I throw. I ain't worried about that.
On that, Amari Cooper told me he's also letting his agent handle the intricacies of the contract, but I can tell you he didn't seem overly worried about it. Instead, the typically reserved receiver was busy playing chess at his locker with teammate Cheeto Awuzie.
Yeah.
Cool.
Excellent work from Jane Slater. They will have her on throughout the show here on Good Morning Football. She also is reporting that a source with knowledge of the Cowboys contract situation said the team has not yet given Ezekiel Elliott an initial extension offer, which isn't that surprising to me, Triggs, because Zeke has the most time out of these 3 superstars, right?
Yeah. But it's also interesting because what is the order of the other guys, right? And we just heard from, that was a great report by Jane, even up to the point of Amari Cooper playing chess at his thing while everyone else is freaking out about his contract. He's playing chess. Is there,
Dak's playing Monopoly.
I was going to say, is there an allegory there of some sort? Who's playing chess, who's playing checkers? But I do want to go behind the curtain there because what Jane's saying is great, that there is actually conversations being had with Dak Prescott where there isn't one being had with Ezekiel Elliott at the moment. I think Ezekiel Elliott's weekend and the issue with the authorities out in Las Vegas aside, I always thought this is how it was going to play out, that Dak would be the first one to take care of, then Amari, and then Zeke. The Dak thing is interesting, though, because as I've mentioned on the show, his agent is Todd France. If you don't know Todd France, one of the most powerful agents in the NFL. He represents Fletcher Cox, represents Aaron Donald, represents Matt Ryan, 3 of the highest paid players in the NFL. And when Dak says, I want to kind of take a step back, and in a couple of years from now, we'll look back and say, what was offered here, what was offered there? I think there is something to this where there might be a gap in what the Cowboys are talking about and what Dak Prescott and his agent are talking about. It seems very copacetic right now.
Yeah.
I'm here for football. And I love that Dak actually wasn't like, straight face, no. He actually laughed about it a little bit. Like, hey, that's not what I'm here for to talk about. Let's move on. But as longer as this thing proceeds into training camp and then maybe into preseason and into the regular season, that's when it gets hairy and it starts clouding over every discussion about the Cowboys. Why have they not committed to Dak Prescott long term?
Life is good for Dak Prescott.
Okay.
With the market that quarterbacks set the bar for when it comes to contracts, 25, 30 plus million dollars. With what Dak Prescott was able to do this past year and this past couple seasons, you cannot make an argument that he doesn't deserve the money. So that's why he's sitting back at his locker, swaying back and forth with a smile on his face, because he knows deep down inside they're only a few conversations away for him to be mentioned at the top of the top with guys making $30 million because of what he did last year, what he did his rookie year. He had a little bit of fall off his sophomore year, but in comparison to guys that have made those $100 million contracts, Dak is already in a great place, getting to the playoffs, battling with some of the best, and the future is bright for the young quarterback.
Does this end happily for everybody?
No, it's impossible. I mean, there's going to come a shot. We know Dak's going to get paid. And it's just, I want to know badly how much. What numbers are we talking right now? Because there's going to come a shot. It's going to be Dak signing the contract or holding up or whatever, having a press conference. And if that comes out and it's like $32.5 million a year, like, I want the shot of Zeke, because that's like, that's not great. Like, Dak's contract got me like that face. The memes are going to be crazy because it really is. It's like musical chairs, except it's like musical ATMs. Like, not everyone can get paid. You know those rude ATM lines where they're like, step back behind the line and they cover their code? DeMarcus already got paid. And then we have all these other superstars. So, Nate, you've always been very bullish about this, that he deserves the world. I'm trying to get back to a place where quarterbacks are somehow paid according to how good they are, or at least a reflection of that. Because Dak is very good, but he is not great. And the second he makes 30 plus, let's throw up the graphic again with Garoppolo and Cousins and Stafford, and welcome to the club and bye-bye Super Bowl shot. I really believe that.
Nate, of course that's what's coming from Dak, and we all want the players to get paid. But can I bring up an example from your personal career?
Yeah, sure.
2013 Lions. Stafford gets his first deal. It's worth $72 million. That next offseason, they have to part ways with Sue. They end up cutting my favorite wide receiver in the league, Nate Burleson.
Thanks.
And Calvin Johnson eventually goes away, too. Part of that was paying that money to Matthew Stafford. So being in that locker room, is it going to get dicey as this goes on and on between those? Did you guys consider that, think about that when Stafford got that first big deal?
No, if you're a true family, you want everybody to get paid. And, Kay, I'm right with you. I agree. And I understand exactly what Kyle's saying. I had a conversation with Phil Simms last year, and I brought it up a few times on the show. He said at some point a team is going to walk away from this high-priced quarterback because they're going to get a young dude that they could pay crumbs and build around him. And it makes perfect sense when it comes to the logistics, the dollar signs that surround quarterbacks and how to pay them. But why should the buck stop here when it comes to Dak Prescott? That's the ultimate argument. I know exactly what you're saying. I lived it. I sat there and dapped up Matt Stafford and said, man, congratulations, man. I love the fact you got paid. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking some of these dudes aren't going to be here over the next couple of years. I get it.
But you sat here a couple weeks ago and said you wanted a ring. That's the one thing you couldn't have. What if you guys they all could have stayed together? Sue stays with the Lions. Calvin Johnson isn't just disgruntled by whatever goes on in that front office with the deal he did not or did get. And then you have, you're still there.
I'm 37-year-old Nate Burleson that wanted a ring. At 27, I wanted all the money in the world. That's why Dak Prescott wants all the money. Zeke Elliott, Amari Cooper. And we could sit here and say, all right, stop putting up the graphic, but I will continue to put up Kirk Cousins, Garoppolo, Derek Carr, Matt Stafford, and the list goes on and on and on.
That's not a good list.
That's not, and it's also, you're using it as I deserve that, but to Kay and Kyle's point, it's...
what have they done?
There hasn't been success with paying... Look, it's not fair to Dak Prescott to say, well, you're the one who gets stopped on that list.
100%.
Right. There is a way out for them. You pay Dak the world this summer. You give him the 32.5, the 33. You do that. You franchise Amari Cooper, and you have Ezekiel Elliott for next year under contract. And you say, guys, 2019, this is the year. Like, we're going to win right now. And Amari, you're going to get yours, and Dak, you already got yours.
And what happens to Zeke moving forward? Then you're in the no man's land. You look at the running backs who have money. Like Gurley plays with a cheap quarterback right now. Le'Veon even plays with a cheap quarterback. There's no plan in which Dak gets paid, Amari gets paid, and Zeke gets paid. There ain't enough room at the end. If it was the Yankees, you just pay them all. This is the NFL. You can't do it.
But if you look at the last couple Super Bowl winners, they played with cheap running backs.
I know.
So if Zeke,
that's terrible for Zeke.
If Zeke is the last man out, and if you're sticking to what I'm saying, and if we made this argument on the show before, and Kay, you talked about it time and time again, why pay the running backs big dollars when you can find a gem in the second and third and fourth round? I'm just saying,
Zeke
pay your
was on
quarterback.
for 6 games, and they did not look good at all.
That's why this is fascinating, because you're putting Amari in front of the line. They may be the exception, though, like because of that whole identity thing and what Zeke means to them. I think they may be different from 31 other teams.
The year that Zeke was suspended 6 games, Dak Prescott's play dipped significantly. And if you remember Thanksgiving against the Chargers, they were not in that game. The Falcons game in Atlanta, Adrian Claiborne flying all over the field, sacking Dak Prescott. Tyron Smith was also out that game. But to Kyle's point, and I think to even Ezekiel Elliott might be the rare bird where, wait a second, he makes our offense go.
It wasn't Gurley the rare bird that made the Rams offense go, and he's the MVP of their team and everything.
They got to the Super Bowl.
C.J. Anderson comes from the diner down the street and carry them to the Super Bowl. I don't know. It's not good for Zeke.
Well, Dak did speak yesterday. We've got more sound from him throughout the show. He even said that it's going to be a new-look offense, maybe more new than he even thinks with the way these deals are going to get going for the Cowboys.
What is that?
What have you done?
$30 million, Dak.
I mean, I'm down.
a year.
I think that's fine.
I get it.
That's fine.
I'm-
What are you putting up for Zeke, though?
It makes you itch.
It makes me itch.
$500,000.
$30 million.
$500,000.
That's incredible.
The Giants did not decide to pay Landon Collins. No deal got done, so he is now a Washington Redskin. The All-Pro safety joins us next. And eating Mike and Ike's for breakfast.
Nice.
And Juju Smith-Schuster tells us what makes him different from Antonio Brown. Ooh, spicy.
Oh, word?
Juju had a comment yesterday that it resonated.